Hey, what's good, my friends? Today we stand at a pivotal moment in the history of Indigenous rights. For the very first time in half a century, the world must prepare for a future without the quiet yet formidable presence of Kim Gottschalk. In just a moment, in an address from the podium, the Human Rights Council will pay tribute to a man who has been the cornerstone of Indigenous legal advocacy for over 4 decades. It's been 50 years since Kim first stepped into the arena of Indigenous rights, armed with nothing but his legal talent and an unwavering commitment to Indigenous sovereignty and self-determination. And in that time, he has transformed the landscape of international law, elevating the voices of those long silenced and redefining our very understanding of Indigenous rights. The Indigenous movement at the UNFCCC, for example, was different before Kim. More principled, less technical, and therefore our rights often overlooked in the grand chambers of global climate policy. And while nothing, not even this tribute we have awaited for so long, can fully encompass the depth of Kim's impact, let this recognition serve as a testament to the power of quiet dedication and relentless perseverance. From the Native American Rights Fund to the UNFCCC climate negotiations, Kim has been the unseen hand guiding progress. His legacy is not written in bold headlines, but in the fine print of international courts, in the voices of Indigenous peoples' representatives now seated at tables of power, and in the very fabric of how we understand and fight for our rights today. Kim never sought the spotlight. You wouldn't find him at press podiums or on social media. Instead, you'd find him at the frozen yogurt stand in Bonn, discussing carbon markets, Indigenous rights over swirls of vanilla, breaking down barriers between Indigenous peoples' representatives and high-level diplomats with the universal language of brain freeze and shared purpose. So let this recognition remind us that behind every headline, every victory speech, every landmark decision, there's an army of unsung heroes like Kim. They're the ones burning the midnight oil, the ones who know that real change doesn't happen in the spotlight, but in the shadows of dedication. So here now, from the Human Rights Council, Dr. Binoda Moidamai, in a tribute to a retiring champion of Indigenous rights, a man who never sought to be called a champion, but undeniably became one.
I'd like to mention today here Kim Gottschalk, who has dedicated over 4 decades to the Native American Rights Fund and a total of 50 years championing the rights of Indigenous peoples. His work, often carried out away from the public eye, has been instrumental in advancing Indigenous people's rights at the international level. Today, Kim, we ask you to step into the light. Please stand up and let us all acknowledge your tireless service and the profound impact you have had. Kim, as you move towards retirement, I hope it brings more opportunities to enjoy those Colorado burgers and perhaps perfect your own recipe for the perfect burger sauce. And let us also extend a heartfelt thank you to Linda, your partner in every sense. Linda, thank you for sharing Kim with us all these years, as your unwavering support has truly enabled his remarkable contributions. Thank you, Linda and Kim. Excellencies, delegates.
My friends, you can now also listen to the Go Maluku podcast on Spotify. Listen while you use other apps or do other things. If you don't have Spotify, just open your Apple or Google podcast or your favorite podcasting app and search for the Go Maluku podcast.